Should you even go to college? Seems like a little bit of a debt generator, right? There's a lot of people who will sit there and tell you college doesn't teach you anything. You're just going there for a piece of paper. And I feel like that might be the reality for a lot of people who are going to college right now. You don't have to do your readings. You can, lack a lot of academic integrity and maybe get away with a lot. And that's highly discouraged in the university setting. But that doesn't mean that, everybody abides by the rules, right? I just feel like when we're talking about college and you're talking with people and they're sitting there and they're trying to tell you or discourage you when you say that you're going to go to college, let's just think a little bit about what it would mean if you had a degree and they didn't. How would that make them feel? Why are they discouraging you from something that's seemingly good? College in the West, it might be a little bit of a debt generator. It's expensive. And yeah, you can go to college, and the thing about it is a sacrifice of time, of effort, of money. But that's the thing. If you sacrifice the effort, you are going to learn something. Okay? I'm taking this one class. It's COM 1115. It's Intro to Communication. The way that I am learning so much just by reading the chapters. Chapter 1 first week, chapter 2 second week, 3 the third week. I'm learning so much, and the thing about it is this is a freshman level class. I'm taking it because I think it's going to be a requirement for my second bachelor's that I want to get. And I couldn't have taken it at a better time, honestly. Like, me taking Intro to Communication, I think everybody should probably take that class every 5 years. Like your work setting should make you take it, because it just goes over, these first 3 chapters have just gone over everything that it seems like we need to know as humans, right? And that's why I think a lot of people will end up discouraging you from going to college, because if you actually put in the effort, if you actually do your readings, you are going to learn, and nobody can take that away from you. Now, yes, there are actually going to be a lot of people who come to college and they're not going to do their readings. They're not going to give quality work. And they're going to receive a grade that, is probably like everybody else's. They're going to obtain the grade that they need to get the piece of paper at the end. But y'all, at the end of the day, we're just coming into a certain culture where some people are also starting to say it doesn't matter if you have a degree, like, I'm just not getting hired anywhere. Yeah, because you didn't do your work in college, and now you don't interview well because you don't know the material. You didn't study the material. You were giving subpar work in college. And now what? You expected that piece of paper to get you the job that you wanted? You still have to interview, right? And I think that's the really sad thing, that a lot of young people around my age, I'm 26, reminder, and younger, you always got to work hard. And I feel like with social media, and it glamorizes so much without showing you the sweat, blood, and tears that people go through to obtain what they want. It's like these people are just turning on the camera and recording their success and recording, their class rings and their photos of graduating. They're not showing you the readings that they're doing. They're not showing you the stress that they're going through because of, the week 3 test, and then your 9 weeks test, and then the final. It's like, unfortunately, we all got to work hard. Some are going to have to work harder than others. But I think when you go to college, there's a reason why people want to talk down on it. And nowadays, most people who go to college and graduate from college, it is women. And so, yeah, there are going to be a lot of men, particularly older men. I take that back, actually. The men around our age right now, they're going to sit there and say, college doesn't matter, right? They're going to sit there and say, whatever that you're studying doesn't matter, especially if it's not STEM. I just made a video about this on TikTok where I think more STEM majors, like graduate programs, medical schools in the STEM areas, they need to prioritize students who are doing humanities, because humanities is talked down upon so much. And I think that emphasis happened to make humans into robots, right? Because when you don't study humanity, I think you're going to lose even more empathy for humanity. So, yeah, it's just like the humanities, those tend to be, you know, there tend to be a lot of women in those classes, a lot of women teaching those classes. So it's going to be talked down upon in this patriarchal society. It's a shame, but you can't sit there and go along with the rhetoric of, oh, college just, it doesn't teach you anything. No, it's not teaching you anything because you're not doing your readings, because you're not putting in the effort that's actually required of you in order to have integrity academically. You're probably cheating. And so you're passing the class, but you're like, I didn't learn anything. Yeah, you didn't do the work. So, yeah, I think that's just something we can think about when we're discussing, oh, whether college helps you or not, right? Another thing that I like to think about is rich people. Like, I'm talking wealthy people of wealth. They're sending their kids to college. Like, all of these Nepo babies, these true Nepo babies. I'm not talking kids from actors or singers. I'm talking big business people. All of their kids that are, you know, getting into these CEO positions automatically, they still have degrees. Their parents made sure that they went to college. So why would you not, especially if you had the opportunity, especially if maybe your state is giving a lot of funding? And this is like a little bit of a hard time to talk about this, right? Because of the current political climate. But that's the thing, is going to school is also a form of protest. It's a form of protest, especially for women. You getting educated as a woman, that's probably what you should be doing instead of dating, instead of looking for love. Yeah, we all want love, we all want companionship, but do you really want to be loved by a group of people that didn't make sure amongst their group that women were going to be okay in the future? It's just like something to think about. Also, I want us all to remember that there are some evil people that go to college, and them learning and doing their work and learning about the humanities and learning in their STEM classes, that's not gonna radicalize everybody. A lot of them are going to use the information to manipulate the public, to back their bigoted claims. So I would love to implore everybody to go to school, because at the end of the day, like, there are going to be bad people going to school and good people going to school. But if you don't want to go to school just because, oh, like, I'm so tired of school, I've been going to school since I was 5 years old, now I'm 18, take a couple years off. I actually think that that's good. You don't have to continue when you're 18. especially if you know what you're doing when it comes to work and, you know, taking care of yourself. But I would say that if you end up getting a job and they're like, yeah, we'll pay for your degree, you should do it. Especially when you're hitting the age of like 23, 24, 25, because then it's like, all right, you've taken a little break and now your brain is just older. So now I think you approach the material a little bit differently. And it is kind of liberating. And honestly, you kind of look forward to it, right? It's like, I'm 26. I've gone back to school. I finished my bachelor's when I was 21 in 2019. I'm 26 now. I'm starting to go to school. I've gotten a couple of classes done the past couple years, but now I'm like, you know, course load. And the way that I get excited to turn something in, to approach things the way that I want to, right? To do my readings. It's just so liberating because your government just doesn't want you to do that. It doesn't. Your community might not want you to do that. Your husband might not want you to do that. Your girlfriend might not want you to do that. Your partner, whoever. Because when you obtain a certain level of education, when you start to read more, you start to think a little bit differently. Not everybody needs college, right? Not everybody needs to go to college. You might be able to go to trade school or, you know, where just high school, and you might be making a lot of money. But I just think that when you go to get your degree, it gives you different perspectives on people, because you're not going to be successful in your degree if you don't know how to talk to people. You have to do group work. You have to participate in discussions. And I think that's why a lot of people can't get through their degrees, because they can't. The social skills are just at an all-time low. We don't have to, nobody has like a set identity, because when you go on the internet, you can be whoever you want. You can say anything about yourself, right? And so when you go to school, that's who you are. Even in your online classes with your discussions, it's like you can be who you are, you can participate in your discussions, but you can also, like, it's easier to lack academic integrity there. So it's the way that you as a human being want to approach your education. If you don't want to sacrifice the time and effort and, you know, just get the piece of paper, yeah, going to college isn't worth it for you. How driven are you? Can you provide for yourself without a degree? I think that's great if you can. I still think that you should educate yourself though. I still think that everybody should be reading books. Not everybody needs college. Not every intelligence, college doesn't equal intelligence, right? But if you're an intelligent person and you choose not to, you know, go to school, get some sort of degree, that's fine. But what makes you intelligent after that? Like, are you reading books? Are you keeping up with the economy? Are you keeping up with culture? With humanity studies? Like, what makes you intelligent after you sit there and say, just because you go to college doesn't mean, like, just because somebody doesn't go to college doesn't mean they're not smart. It's like, I agree with that. But are you reading? Are you educating yourself on people's perspectives that are different than you, are from a different class than you, are from a different race than you, a different culture, a different country? Because I feel like there's a lot of people, you know, there's an attack on intellectualism. There's an attack on education right now. If you don't want to go to school, I think that's fine. You can provide for yourself after that. That's amazing. But you talking down on people who need a little bit more structure in their learning, and so they decide to go to school, I think there's something wrong with that. I love the books that I pick, but when I register for my classes, Those are just more structured. Something's expected of me. And I am learning a lot because I am doing the readings. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think that when it comes to school, at the end of the day, what you learn is something that nobody's ever going to be able to take from you. My mom used to always say, your degree is something that nobody can ever take away from you. And now that I'm thinking back on that, it's more so what you learn nowadays. Because nowadays there are a lot of resources that'll help you pass your classes and get the piece of paper, whether you learn anything or not. College is worth it. I think that if you have the opportunity to go, you should take the advantage of it. You should take advantage of it, especially if you're a woman. They don't want you to be educated. And the sad part is part of being a developed world, a developed country, is women being educated. Is women being able to educate themselves, have children, and those children's lives being happier. There are literally studies all about it. If you take intro-level econ classes, that's what they're going to go over. Is the fact that in developed countries, I don't know if that's even the right terminology nowadays, but in countries that are more developed, the women are more educated. And so they're having less children. And so they end up, those kids' lives are better and happier. The mothers end up living longer, right? But in countries that are less developed, notice how the women are treated. They're not allowed to go and get health care. They're not allowed to go to school. They're not allowed to talk. So I think we should all just think about it when men in our country start to say women should stop going to work, they should stop going to school, and then they should start having some more babies at home. I think we really need to pay attention to those words and take them seriously, because words matter. And when you go to college, you're going to understand that words matter. What you say matters, and what you learn matters, and what you choose to read matters. If you don't want to go to school, that's fine. If you're a driven individual and you can provide for yourself and whatever family you choose to build, that's amazing. I just want to make sure that we're all understanding that when you go to a university and you actually put the effort in, you are going to learn a lot. You are going to get your money's worth. If you don't have academic honesty or integrity, yeah, it's not going to be worth it for you. You're paying a bunch of money for nothing, right? You're getting the piece of paper, but I doubt you'll interview well. Maybe you're the type of person that can talk your way into things really well, and you will get the job, right? But that's not going to happen for everybody. And so I think when we all go to school, when we all have the opportunity to go to school, it's important to hone in on that opportunity, because not everybody has the privilege to be on a college campus. It's a privilege. So I think when you have it, you should take advantage of it, and you should do your readings, and you should be grateful for whatever class that you're in. You should try to take something from that class, even if it's not something that you think you have to take. You have to do your general education when you go to college because you need to be a well-rounded individual. So if there's something that, it's there and it'll count for one of your gen eds, your fine arts, or your humanities, and, you're a STEM major, but you still have to take that, you need to take something from that class. You need to get your money's worth. You need to pay attention. And you need to show some respect for the individual that's teaching the class, for the department that put together the class out of, research from people who dedicate their lives to the craft, to the topic, right? To the educational field. The outlook that we have on education in the West go to school, you're gonna get your degree, you're gonna make more money. It being that simple has been harmful to what education truly should be. A lot of people who sat there and put some effort into their degree and knew when to change their majors, because I think that if you're putting effort in and you're like, there's not a connection, you'll be able to change your major. And I think once you make connections and you get the volunteer hours and, you put in the work, I don't care what field you end up in. I think you're going to end up employed. You have to make yourself marketable. You have to make your connections, right? I don't care if you're a STEM major. I don't care if you're an engineering major. I think that if you don't make your connections, I don't think that, you could get the degree, C's get degrees, whatever. I think that you're going to end up unemployed regardless because you can't interview. You don't have people skills. Maybe you'll get lucky. I don't think you're going to excel. If you're part of a marginalized community, if you're a woman especially, I think you should go to college. I think that's a form of protest to what society wants from us. Even in today's modern times, we're kind of being attacked. There are politicians literally looking at us and saying, y'all need to get out of the workforce and you need to be at home making babies. That's disrespectful. It is. Because we should be able to choose whatever we want. I don't see them sitting there and telling men, yeah, y'all need to go out into the oil fields. No more office work for you. Seems to me like men can do whatever the hell they want. So as a woman, I think that you should at least try going and putting some time into your readings when you go to college. Getting some, and if not that, you don't have to go to college. Get some sort of hobby outside of worrying about what a boy or a man is doing, wondering if he's thinking about you. Outside of dating, right? I know we all want to be loved, we all want to have some companionship, but I think that dating has been such a distraction to where so many things are lost, right? Non-romantic relationships, broken, nobody knows how to navigate them. Education, it's like, oh, you're wondering about a text. When you're in class, you should be listening to your professor who might be famous in their field. You know what I mean? It's kind of like an honor to be in front of them, listening to them lecture about something they're passionate about. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like let's change our outlooks on things a little bit. I was taking a walk and I saw some trash and I picked it up and it was some student's note card that said, "Fuck this class." And it's like, I get you, but what can you take from that class? I'm wondering what class it is, because it's like, it can't be that bad or else the university wouldn't let them teach it. Many people should actually go to college and do their readings. I love college and I would love it if everybody actually went and put in the effort. But I do understand that many people don't. They go and they cheat so that they could get the piece of paper at the end. I wish those students wouldn't come. So yeah, if you want to get your education, if you want to go to school, if you want to learn, I think you should. I think it'll be worth it for you if you're going to put in the effort. And I think when people sit there and say, oh, like you're going to school like it doesn't teach you anything, either that person has dropped out because they didn't want to put in the effort. Maybe they have their degree and they're saying that. I don't think they really did the work though. Okay, I don't think they did the work. Oh, my degree didn't teach me anything. I think they cheated a majority of the way, I'm going to be honest. And, because a lot of people who actually put in the effort for their degree, they're going to tell you that they loved it. They're going to tell you that it's worth it. So, yeah, I think that you as a woman should try to at least pull something out of the opportunities that are still at your feet, because we're living in a world where I don't know how long we're going to have certain opportunities as women, as people in marginalized communities. I hope you guys like this video. Let me know if you want me to talk about education a little more. I could talk about it all day. I love education. I work in the educational field. I love how many opportunities are available in this setting, and I like how it can open up so many doors for the people who try. Okay. Either way, I love you guys. You'll see me on TikTok, and I'll see you again here on Friday.